So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and move on into the second segment of Burst video game level, and that was the form of Zerg's headquarters, or in this case, Zerg's fortress itself. So anyway though, so let's get this started here. So most likely the ones in Toy Story 2 film is that we immediately go ahead and go inside the actual Zerg's fortress, and then right off the bat though, we actually fully light up when we actually get into the darkness part of it. So and also along the way that we actually come across into this little familiar corridor right here, full of a bunch of instant death spikes and also getting crushed. So even then though, as soon as we get to this point here, there's nothing else we can do, because obviously if we actually go there, you'll immediately die instantly. So how can we do it exactly? Well, you're probably wondering, we need to hit back, and then basically that... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Anyway, no. So, anyway, once you actually get to this little point right there, we have to press Y to charge it up, and then that's how you're supposed to get to this area. Basically, we have to take down this little, something almost reminds me of like a mother brain from the Metroid series, well, except that it has some bunch of crystals inside, so... Yeah, you're probably wondering that we actually constantly seeing that please reconnect the controller. It's because you're about to be seeing that little text box, or in this case, little notification on the top a lot. Even especially noticeable that how, even that it has been a while since we actually going to record this, because obviously that's, some bunch of Let's Plays that we've now recently finished, even then though. Until when it's the end of 2016, however, that we might actually go ahead and say no. That we might actually go ahead and just try to actually finish this game before we actually move on to 2017. But so at this point in time, that I don't think there's going to be a new Toy Story video game coming out anytime soon, because obviously, unfortunately though, Toy Story 4 has now been delayed in 2019, which sucks. But anyway though, so... No, at least we still can't wait until when that film comes out during that particular time of year. But then again, that we need to wait until a couple of years' time. So anyway though, so you probably noticed this little scaling for this little grab the ledge syndrome is the fact that if you actually touch this little electricity stuff, well, it's not so bad with this electricity stuff. Sometimes it gives you a knockback, and if you jump onto this little red area, this means instant death. And also very, very similar to how it does in Toy Story 2 reference, we're getting chased by this spiked wall, just like how it does in the second film. But even then though, except that it's much easier to actually get away from it, because thanks to your charge attack, with that being said and done, this means is that although you get like a spiked stuff and what have you, also very similar to Toy Story 2 reference is the fact that we're gonna have to jump through platform to platform, and if you step on one of those, it will immediately fall out. So it's not like a straight line, it's more likely a puzzle platforming syndrome, because basically you're gonna have to memorize which platforms you want to hop into first. So even though you're gonna have to keep an eye on that, so... Oh gosh, I almost died for that right there. Move on to the next section, which unfortunately we managed to get crushed onto that instantly, but even then though, that doesn't matter, because even then though, we can actually really safe to say that we're gonna have to actually try to continue throughout, and hopefully we can actually just, you know, okay, dodge that, and hopefully we need to actually dodge this, little... Oh, god dang it. Sometimes although sometimes it might be really impossible for me, but sometimes I find myself just actually constantly getting punched into the wall or something, or in this case get banged into the wall sometimes, and then sometimes it takes me into an instant death KO stuff, so hopefully let's try this again. Hopefully we're not gonna just... There we go. And there's the last sequence right there. It's all about just the pattern going on right here, so even then though, we have to do that, and boom, there you go. So yeah, that's all we can imagine what we're going to be saying throughout. So anyways, now we move on to the next part of the level, is that we're sure we're going to have to deal with these whole bunch of Zerg's enemies. So yeah, usually it's as far as you can see, as you can probably tell. So including the red laser, in this case Zerg's eye laser attacks, and especially noticeable these little robots themselves. So basically simple standard stuff really. So even then though, we need to... Although, somehow we did not hit. Although, unfortunately, we haven't... You gotta be kidding me. So yeah, you probably expected to see that notification a lot in this episode, just due to the fact that how it constantly happens. It's mostly just the fact that how our Xbox 360 controller, sometimes it glitches. Like, it's sometimes more likely please reconnect control notification always pops up. Even though no control itself works fine enough, but sometimes that it constantly turns off itself. But even then, that's really irritating me for the most part, especially whenever I go on some games like Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 and Sonic Unleashed most likely, because these are considerable the most, although I wouldn't mind about the Sonic 06 as far as the gameplay department, even though it's full of glitch fest. But even then, that I had a lot of fun with Sonic Unleashed. But even then, especially noticeable in Sonic Generations as well, because those both Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations, specifically for the Xbox 360 versions, they're really a lot more fun to me. But anyway. So once we actually take out those crystal stuff right there, it's very important to notice that. So the fact that if you actually proceed, you need to take down these 2 crystal parts in these 2 sides. So yeah, that's all you're gonna do. And here we go onto this, I'm assuming that each particular section actually has only 2 segments. So even then though, that's, ah god. I swear to god, there's no invincibility frames around here though, so, oh that was really too early for that part. So anyways, a few things we want to mention about certain things is the fact that recently we managed to watch ourselves the overview trailer for specifically Japan's version of Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. Even though it's getting quite close to releasing that particular 3DS version of Yoshi's Woolly World, in this case the 3DS version of the game. Ah, god damn it, I have knocked back by those lasers, you gotta be... Anyway though. So anyway, you know, we managed to watch the overview trailer of, you know, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, and so far there's nothing else to actually look upon besides the fact that it did add some exclusive content that once in the Wii U version. Like for instance, I do believe that if I remember rightly, is that the main menu, even for the world map screen, might act out quite logically different. Because I believe, I'm pretty sure it'll act out very similar to how it does in Super Mario 3D Land. World map as opposed to in the Wii U version. Ah, god dang it. Yeah, if you touch one of these electricities on this particular segment, you'll also get killed instantly. So anyway, sometimes it takes some time until when this beginning part will about to pop up at one point, but sometimes it always happens in most cases. So anyway though. So yeah, you know, unlike in the Wii U version of Yoshi's Woolly World, is the fact that the world map itself is almost very similar to Super Mario 3D World's world map, like you can run around in places and stuff, but I'm pretty sure the 3DS version might act out very similar to how it does in Super Mario 3D Land's world map. Although I may be wrong about that, but we'll just have to find out as soon as the actual release date is about to come. But even then though, so that we actually got a couple of days to go until, again, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue of it so far. Even though, no, we still only have like one PS4 to actually, PS4 game that we actually did manage to recently play. Although eventually, we might actually get ourselves Mega Man Legacy Collection on the PlayStation 4, because at some point at 2017 and onwards, then we might actually go ahead and do the Mega Man Marathon game, specifically the classic Mega Man series. Although we don't know about Mega Man 8, or especially Mega Man 9 and 10, because we haven't owned those 3. But anyway though, so here we have ourselves yet another spiked wall sequence, and it's going to be a lot more harder now, because even then though, these obstacles will get in your way. And also, I found the notable thing is actually quite tricky with this level is the fact that you're gonna have to deal with this platforming sequence only twice as harder than the ones in the original version. Because sometimes you ended up going to actually fall off easier, and to actually not memorize this puzzle solving quite well. And also worth knowing for is the fact that, you know, as soon as you hop into any colors on these platforms will automatically fall down, and then you won't able to regain it back again. So it's a bit tricky though for the most part. Let's see if I can do this. Ah, god dang it. Yeah, if you die like at least quite a few times, I think you only have like 5 tries to your disposal, and then the you know this little familiar platform over there? That you'll actually stay on forever, so even then though, it can be quite helpful. It's really hard to do with first try though, I'm gonna have to say that much, Sonic. Yeah, I know that, because one time though, we actually constantly doing that, and sometimes we ended up falling off like, God knows, tremendous amount of times. Anyway, no, so as soon as we get to this area right here, that's how we're actually going to, you know, face off against with Zerg's, you know, slaves, basically. Basically, what we can do here is the fact that obviously just shoot all of them until when it gets to the point until, you know, as soon as we get to the bottom part, this will actually meet up the second boss fight. Well, if we say second boss fight, I mean, usually we only fight the first boss in the game of Toy Story 3, and that honor goes to evil Dr. Porkchop in the train sequence. But I'm assuming there's going to be a second boss fight that's coming up. So even then, once we actually deal with all of these, specifically the regular enemies, you don't have to necessarily deal with the laser eye enemies because they aren't that much of a threat at all. So instead, you just have to like deal with those on-ground enemies. So yeah, that's all they're usually going to do throughout. Let's fall down here. This sequence does remind me of something related to Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed for the 360 skydiving sequences. But except that you don't have rings, but I don't think you actually get the health ammo once you actually get to these sequences. And here we are, the bits that is very similar to Toy Story 2.
So, we meet again, Buzz Lightyear, for the last time. Don't count on it, sir.
Okay, so here we are, faced off against with Zergs. This particular battle is somewhat similar to the Toy Story 2 video game, but a bit quite differently this time, even though the actual arena itself is very similar to how you actually did manage to come across Zerg into this particular sequences. Although, except the notable difference was there was no Zerg battery or anything like that, but instead it was actually just Zerg coming out of this little, you know, the inner door hole. So yeah, that's all there is to know. So basically in this boss fight, all you have to do is pretty simple. We have to basically just shoot the laser at the crystal, so that way it will actually take out the Zerg's shield down. Basically, if the Zerg's shield has gone down, this means is that you can actually just shoot the laser at them for let's say 3 seconds or less or more. And then you should be able to deal damage on him. So yeah, he only takes like 3 hits to your disposal. So yeah, it's not that difficult or anything like that. Although sometimes the enemies do catch you off guard at points, I'm gonna say that much.
Your evil plot ends here.
And of course, Zerg has gone away until the TV series of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. But even then, though, unfortunately, though, that show is not going to continue onwards. But anyway, so here we go with level number 4, I believe, Sunnyside Daycare, which is very much the actual environment what that takes place in the actual Toy Story 3 film. And just like the ones in the film, I'm pretty sure this will actually immediately takes into the Caterpillar room, according to what the, you know, that's what the story unfolds. But anywho, onto the level.
Welcome to Sunnyside, folks. I'm Lotso. Now, in honor of your arrival, we're throwing a new Toys Welcome Carnival. My friends here have some games for y'all to play. Twitch has got a competition your horse would be perfect for. Sparks has a teeny racer challenge, and Chunk is hosting the alley toss. Remember to try all the games, but most importantly, smile and have fun. Oh, I almost forgot. I've made a scavenger hunt and hidden goodies all over for you to find, so make sure you look everywhere. Now get on out there and have fun.
Alright then, so here we are, the Sunnyside Daycare. This particular world is not so much for too many platforming, it's just the fact that it's all mini-game based. Because basically what we can do in this world is the fact that we need to actually complete 3 mini-games in one particular level. And that is the form of, one is consist of by using Bullseye for this minigame. The first minigame we're about to be running into. And that was the form of, well, obviously as well Lotso mentioned it, from the blue hugging bear, or in this case the purple hugging bear. And that was the Rock Horse Balloon Challenge. So basically what you do is actually, although the, as soon as you actually, before you jump into the minigame itself, you have to be sure you need to reach up to the, you actually have to be sure you need to reach up to that specific higher amount of, balloons in order to pop it. So even then though, basically, in this particular minigame it's pretty simple. We have to ride on Bullseye, and then basically we're gonna have to like pop 25 balloons in this minigame in order to acquire to accessible to it. But there's also another rewarding thing after when you get all of the 40 balloons, I believe, in this minigame. It's the fact that you actually get yourselves the rewarding prize. Even then though, oh wait, I think, no, this wasn't the, I don't think this was actually the caterpillar room, I don't think. I think it's more likely the butterfly room. Yeah, it's butterfly room indeed, because it's usually, this room is immediately, feels more likely very inspired from the butterfly room. So even then though, I always kept on thinking of the actual film itself, I gotta have to admit though, Sonic. But anyway though, so even then though, we watched that plenty of times. But I digress though. So it's not too bad of a minigame. You're just gonna have to memorize where these 5 balloons in each of this section, so it's not too bad and not too noticeable. So anyway, it's pretty simple stuff though, really. So as far as memory goes, that I think we're gonna have to showcase all of these 3 playable characters in one minigame each. So for instance, in the first minigame we're gonna be using Jesse, and I'm pretty sure the next minigame I'm pretty sure we're gonna be using Buzz Lightyear for the next minigame. And then after that we'll showcase the last minigame, we'll be using Woody for last. So yeah, if you reach up to the maximum higher amount of points you can get from each of this minigame, you actually get yourselves rewarding gifts. Like for instance, we actually get ourselves the collectible cards, and that's all there is to know.
Nice.
Okay, so now we have to switch between Buzz Lightyear now. Unfortunately though, we don't have ourselves the lasers to deal with now. And also that we don't have ourselves a hover mode for right now, unlike the previous level. Dang it, I wish I could just have that. Oh well. Anyway, so here we go with the next minigame, which was Teeny Racers. I believe that we actually get to try on the cartwheel controls. Yeah, sorry for a bit of an awkward pause going on here. It's because somehow I almost choked myself. But anyway. So basically, very similar to how it does it, how the control works out for driving your car, is that if you ever played Sonic and Sig All-Stars Racing back in 2010 for the Xbox 360 version most likely, is that you know exactly how the controls worked out. Basically, you have to hold down the right trigger button in order to accelerate, and then the left trigger button can actually just to reverse or brake. And I'm pretty sure the Y button can act out very differently. It's the fact that it actually just allows you to turn around. So yeah, that's all there is to know. And basically the entire portion of this minigame is pretty simple. We're gonna have to be sure you need to actually just break, at the moment for the time, it requires you to break 7 blocks in order to proceed for the next point of the level. So yeah, but again, you only have to play like 3 minigames in order to progress in the next levels. So yeah, that's all there is to know. And the maximum amount of blocks you can destroy, and that definitely only goes to the 10 blocks, which is the only maximum blocks you can destroy. So yeah, it's not that bad. Sometimes the controlling, or in this case the momentum, it can be a little bit, slightly bit weird at points, even when it comes to when you actually just drive towards the, on the table leg. But apart from those sides of things, it's not too bad, not too noticeable or anything like else. So anyway though, so let's go ahead and just drive onto this ramp, and then we can, hopefully we can actually just get ourselves these tons of blocks over there. Ah, darn it. But yeah, you get the idea. No too many enemies on screen this time, unlike the other levels ago, and especially the likes of stuff so similar to how it does it from Andy's house and stuff like that. This almost makes me wonder now how, of all the worlds that we actually been into for these kinds of points, that at some point where we actually, oh yeah, let's go ahead and get ourselves the last ton of blocks, even then once we actually do that, there we go.
Oh yeah!
Now we got 10 maximum blocks. So in this case, we got ourselves the next reward. And how come I just did that right there? I have no idea. Probably because of the, how weird it was. But anyway, right off the bat, there's Zerg's Kate that you can actually use there for customize your own, alien costume. In this case, one of the, you know, the space aliens. So yeah, it's pretty standard stuff. Okay, so now we're going to have to switch to Woody now, because I believe we actually showcased Buzz Lightyear the first minigame, or in this case the second minigame I should say. And now let's go ahead and pick Woody for the third and final minigame in order to actually get this world completely done. But again, you need to actually complete all 3 of those minigames, because if you don't, then you probably have to redo the minigames again. So, there's one thing I need to know. Anyways, the last minigame we have on this particular world, and that is the form of alley toss. Basically, all you have to do is pretty standard stuff. We're gonna have to be sure you need to keep an eye on these aliens, doesn't go across the line. And I believe you only have like 3 attempts in order to do this. Like, there's only literally 3 crosses you do have to actually worry about. If these aliens go cross through 1 time, you'll get 1 cross. And then I believe, if you actually let these 3 aliens go for the cross, or the, no, not the cross, the line, the game is pretty much over. So yeah, that's all you have to do for this. In order to actually complete this though, however, is the fact you need to actually just to toss the ball at 50 aliens. So the maximum amount of points is definitely 100, because 100 can be quite tough at points. It's mostly because you have to be really accurate with your cursor, so that's all we can literally try to do for this. So I'm pretty sure that hopefully we can actually get this thing going. But apart from those side of things though, however, that's not too bad. Sometimes you have to be really accurate and really fast, especially the those hopping space aliens comes into play. But also there's also another variation of those you know, space aliens, which has to be formed of the pirate outfit, which you'll see why in just a moment. But yeah, I think we reach up to 50 at the moment right now, roughly overly 50, so even then that we're pretty sure we can actually expect to see how much points that we can actually probably expect to see this coming, so yeah, that's all we can actually notice. So anyways, we now come across into the pirated variations of these space aliens, so even then they moved really fast at that one point. Sometimes they spread out. But even then, they're pretty easy to deal with, though, honestly. So anyway, and for the most part, that although the baskets will get in your way with the aiming shots and whatnot, but it's pretty simple and standard stuff. But I like this though. So let's see if we can actually get ourselves 100 points in this particular mini game. If not, then we'll actually just try to say, oh well. So just the main purpose of trying to dang it. I believe in order to get the 100 points is that you don't let these aliens go through the line like 3 times. So yeah, that's all you're literally trying to notice until right about now. So even then, we only have like 98. Oh, we got a new trophy right there. True Colonel. Which this means we're gonna have to like get all the golds in each of the mini games, which I'm pretty sure that's all you get for this particular trophy slash achievement, whatever system you kind of prefer. So anyways, once you actually finish all 3 of these mini games, you can now finally talk to Lotso.
I've never seen such happy toys.
Oh god, those two of those characters talks all at once. That's a bit weird, I'm gonna have to say that much. So anyways, that's it for that level. Sunnyside Daycare. Not too bad, but hey, at least it's all about minigame fest. So anyways, we're going to end things off here, so join us next time on Let's Play Toy Story 3. Is the fact that we're moving on into the next level, in this case the 5th level in the game, Barney's house. What's Barney looks like? Well, if you watched Toy Story 3 film before, then what happens is that Woody escaped the daycare, Sunnyside Daycare all by himself, and then he ended up in the Barney's house from the film. So anyways, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.